The best friend he never saw coming. Welcome to Heart's Reckoning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Part 1, The Perfect Boyfriend's Secret. The Golden Beginning. My name is Maya, and 6 months ago, I thought I had found the perfect boyfriend. Ryan was everything a girl could want. Tall, handsome, with that charming smile that made everyone in the room turn and look. He was the captain of the basketball team, had a 3.8 GPA, and somehow still found time to volunteer at the animal shelter every weekend. When he asked me out after our English literature class, I felt like the luckiest girl at Harrison University. Our first 3 months together were like a fairy tale. Ryan would surprise me with coffee before my morning classes. He remembered every little detail I told him, from my favorite flower being sunflowers to how I liked my pasta with extra garlic. He held my hand when we walked across campus, and his friends treated me like I was already part of their group. My roommate Jessica would always say we were the couple everyone wanted to be. Ryan had this tight group of friends. There was Marcus, his basketball teammate who was always cracking jokes. Then there was David, the quiet computer science major who rarely spoke but was always around. And finally, there was this understanding that Ryan had a best friend from childhood who was studying abroad in Paris. Her name was Stella, and according to Ryan, she was like his sister. He showed me photos of them as kids, building sandcastles, riding bikes, graduating high school together. It all seemed innocent and sweet. I should have known that perfect things never last. When Stella came home. It was a Tuesday afternoon in October when everything changed. Ryan and I were having lunch at our favorite campus cafe when his phone buzzed. His entire face lit up in a way I had never seen before. Not even when his team won the championship game. Not even when he got accepted into the graduate program he wanted. "She's back," he shouted, jumping up from his seat. "Stella landed this morning. She's finally home." I smiled, happy to see him excited. "That's great, babe. When do I get to meet her?" "Right now, actually. She's coming here." He was already texting rapidly, barely looking at me. 20 minutes later, Stella walked into the cafe, and I understood why Ryan's face had transformed. She was absolutely stunning. Long dark hair that fell in perfect waves down her back, bright green eyes that sparkled with confidence, and a smile that could light up a room. She wore a simple white dress and somehow made it look like she had just stepped off a fashion runway in Paris. "Ryan," she screamed, running toward our table. Ryan stood up and she literally jumped into his arms, wrapping her legs around his waist. They hugged for what felt like forever while I sat there awkwardly, watching my boyfriend hold another woman in an embrace that looked anything but sisterly. When she finally let go, Ryan turned to me, still beaming. "Stella, this is Maya." "Maya, this is Stella, my best friend since we were 5 years old." Stella looked at me and smiled, but something in her eyes felt cold. "Oh, the girlfriend. Ryan's told me so much about you." She extended her hand, and when I shook it, her grip was surprisingly strong. Almost aggressive. "Nice to meet you," I said, trying to sound friendly. "Ryan's told me about your time in Paris." "Has he?" She sat down right next to Ryan, practically pressed against his side. "Well, Paris was amazing, but I missed home. I missed my best friend most of all." She leaned her head on Ryan's shoulder, and he just smiled like this was the most normal thing in the world. That lunch lasted 2 hours. I barely spoke. Stella and Ryan had a million inside jokes, stories from their childhood, memories I could never be part of. Every time I tried to join the conversation, Stella would interrupt with another story that started with "remember when we," or "that time you and I." When we finally left, Ryan kissed my cheek and said, "Isn't she amazing? I'm so glad my 2 favorite girls finally met." I smiled and nodded, but something in my stomach felt wrong. Very wrong. Boundaries that didn't exist. Over the next 2 weeks, Stella became a constant presence in our lives. She joined us for every meal, every study session, every basketball game. She knew Ryan's schedule better than I did, and she would just show up wherever he was. And Ryan? He welcomed it every single time. What bothered me most were the little things. The way she would fix his collar when we were all walking together. How she called him Riri, a nickname she said only she was allowed to use. The fact that she had a key to his apartment because she might need to crash there sometimes. One Friday night, I went to Ryan's apartment to surprise him with dinner. I used my key and walked in to find Stella sitting on his couch, wearing one of his oversized hoodies and watching TV. She looked up at me and smiled. "Oh hey, Maya. Ryan's in the shower. He should be out soon. Why are you wearing his clothes?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. She looked down at the hoodie like she just noticed it. "Oh, this? Ryan and I always share clothes. We've been doing it since high school. It's just what we do." She said it so casually, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Ryan came out of the bathroom, his hair still wet, wearing only sweatpants. When he saw me, he smiled. "Hey babe. What are you doing here?" "I brought dinner. I wanted to surprise you." I held up the bag of takeout. "That's sweet." He kissed my forehead, then turned to Stella. "Stell, you staying for dinner?" "Obviously," she said, stretching out on his couch. "You know I never turn down free food." I watched as Ryan sat down next to her, and she immediately curled up against him, her head on his chest. He absent-mindedly played with her hair while scrolling through his phone with his other hand. They looked like a couple. They looked more comfortable together than Ryan and I ever did. "Ryan," I said carefully. "Can we talk? Alone?" Stella sat up, looking annoyed. "I'll give you two some privacy." She walked past me toward the bedroom. "I'll just change out of this hoodie." "Oh wait, actually, Riri, can I keep it? It's so comfortable." "Sure, Stell. Take whatever you want from my closet." She disappeared into his bedroom, and I turned to Ryan. "This is weird, right? You see how this is weird?" "What's weird?" He genuinely looked confused. "Your best friend is changing clothes in your bedroom right now. She's wearing your hoodie. She has a key to your place. Ryan, she's practically living here." He sighed, running his hand through his wet hair. "Maya, Stella, and I have been friends for 20 years. This is just how we are. She's like my sister. There's nothing romantic about it at all. It doesn't feel that way to me." "Then maybe you need to work on your insecurity issues." His voice got harder. "I've never given you a reason not to trust me. Stella is my best friend. She's not going anywhere. If you can't accept that, then we have a problem." I stood there, shocked. He had never spoken to me like that before. Before I could respond, Stella came back out, now wearing Ryan's basketball jersey that hung to her mid-thigh. "This one is even better," she said, twirling. She looked at me. "You don't mind, do you, Maya? Sharing Ryan's clothes?" The way she said sharing Ryan's clothes made it sound like she meant sharing Ryan himself. "I should go," I said quietly, putting the takeout bag on the counter. "You two enjoy dinner." As I left, I heard Stella laugh. "Ah, Riri, I think your girlfriend's jealous." "She'll get over it," Ryan replied. I walked back to my dorm, tears streaming down my face. Jessica took one look at me and pulled me into a hug. "What happened?" I told her everything. She listened quietly, then said something that made me pause. "Maya, my cousin dated a guy with a best friend like this. It didn't end well. You need to protect yourself." The double standard. Things got worse the following week. I had a physics exam coming up, and I was struggling. My lab partner, James, offered to help me study. James was nice, kind of nerdy, with thick glasses and a love for terrible science puns. We met at the library 3 times that week, and he helped me understand concepts I had been failing to grasp all semester. On the third study session, I posted a photo on social media. It was just James and me with our physics textbooks, with the caption, "Study buddy saving my grade." Within 5 minutes, my phone rang. It was Ryan. "Who is that guy?" His voice was sharp. "That's James, my lab partner. He's helping me study for physics." "Why is he sitting so close to you in that photo?" "Ryan, we're studying. We need to see the same textbook. I don't like you hanging out with other guys alone, Maya. It's disrespectful to our relationship." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Disrespectful? "Ryan, you have Stella sleeping at your apartment in your clothes, but I can't study with my lab partner? That's completely different. Stella and I are just friends. This James guy clearly likes you. I can see it in the way he's looking at you in that photo. You're being ridiculous." "Am I?" "Maya, I'm asking you to respect our relationship. Cancel your study sessions with him. Find a girl to study with instead." "No." There was silence on the other end. "What did you say?" "I said no, Ryan. You don't get to tell me who I can be friends with, especially when you're practically living with your best friend." He hung up on me. For the next 2 days, Ryan ignored my calls and texts. Finally, he agreed to meet me at the campus coffee shop. When I arrived, Stella was with him. Of course she was. "Ryan, I thought we were meeting alone," I said. "Stella's here for moral support. She helps me think clearly." Stella smiled sweetly at me and wrapped her arm around Ryan's. "Riri was really hurt by your behavior, Maya. He just wants you to understand how relationships work." "How relationships work?" I repeated slowly. "Yes," Ryan said. "In a committed relationship, you need to set boundaries with people of the opposite sex. It's about respect." I looked between them, at how she was holding his arm, at how comfortable he seemed with her touch. Boundaries. Like the boundary where your best friend doesn't wear your clothes? Or sleep in your bed? Or have a key to your place? "That's different," they both said at the same time. "How?" "Explain to me how it's different." Stella leaned forward. "Because Ryan and I have history. We've known each other our whole lives. We're family. You're asking him to change a 20-year friendship because of your jealousy. That's toxic, Maya." "Toxic?" My voice rose. "You want to talk about toxic?" Ryan stood up. "Keep your voice down. You're making a scene." "Maybe I should make a scene. Maybe people should know that you're gaslighting me into thinking I'm crazy for not wanting my boyfriend's best friend to basically be his second girlfriend." Stella gasped dramatically. "Ryan, are you going to let her talk to me like that?" Ryan looked at me with disappointment in his eyes. "I think we need a break, Maya. Until you can accept Stella as part of my life, I don't think this relationship can work." "Are you breaking up with me?" "I'm giving you time to think about what's really important. Call me when you're ready to apologize to both of us." They walked away together, Stella's arm still linked through Ryan's. I watched them go, and something inside me snapped. Not in a broken way, but in a clarity way. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't insecure. I was being manipulated. And I was done playing their game by their rules. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my contacts until I found a name I hadn't called in months. Lucas. My actual childhood best friend who had moved away for college. I typed a quick message. "Hey stranger. Remember how you said you might transfer schools? Any chance you're still thinking about Harrison University?" His response came immediately. "Funny you should ask. Just got accepted. I start next semester." "Why?" I smiled. "Because I might need your help with something." Setting the stage. The rest of that semester was quiet. Too quiet. Ryan and I were officially on a break, which apparently meant he could post constant photos with Stella while I was supposed to sit home alone and think about my behavior. They went to parties together, studied together, and she wore his clothes in every single photo. The comments section was always the same. "You two are so cute together. When are you finally going to date? Perfect couple." Ryan never corrected anyone. He just replied with laughing emojis. Meanwhile, I focused on my classes and made it through finals. Jessica kept telling me to officially break up with him, but I had other plans. Plans that required patience. Plans that required Lucas. Christmas break came and went. Ryan sent me a message on New Year's Eve, "Hope you've had time to think about us. I miss you. But I need you to accept Stella. Non-negotiable." I didn't respond. When spring semester started, I walked into my first class with a smile. Everything was about to change. Because Lucas was here now. And unlike Ryan's relationship with Stella, Lucas and I actually were just friends. But Ryan didn't need to know that. As I sat down in the lecture hall, my phone buzzed. A text from Lucas: "Just got to campus. Where are you? Can't wait to see you again." I smiled and typed back, "This is going to be fun." The game was about to begin. And this time I was making the rules. End of part 1. Part 2, the game changes. Enter Lucas. The first day of spring semester, I stood outside the student center waiting. I had spent winter break texting with Lucas, catching up on everything we had missed in each other's lives. We had been inseparable as kids, living next door to each other from age 5 until he moved away for high school. He knew me better than anyone, including all my tells when I was lying or upset. When I finally saw him walking across campus, I couldn't help but smile. Lucas had changed a lot since high school. He had grown taller, filled out his frame with muscle, and had this confident walk that turned heads. His dark hair was styled perfectly, and he wore a leather jacket that made him look like he had stepped out of a magazine. But when he saw me, his face broke into that same goofy smile I remembered from childhood. "Maya." He dropped his bag and picked me up in a huge hug, spinning me around. "I missed you so much." "I missed you too." I laughed, feeling genuinely happy for the first time in months. We spent the next hour catching up at a coffee shop. I told him everything about Ryan and Stella, and he listened with growing anger in his eyes. "So let me get this straight," he said when I finished. "This guy demands you stop studying with a lab partner, but his best friend practically lives with him, wears his clothes, and sleeps in his bed." "Yup. And he broke up with you, but still posts photos with her all the time." "We're on a break, supposedly." Lucas leaned back in his chair, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Maya, remember when we were 12 and Tommy Henderson kept bullying you on the playground? And you pretended to be my boyfriend so he'd leave me alone?" "Yeah, I remember." "Well, I think it's time for a replay of that strategy." He reached across the table and took my hand. "Let's remind your boyfriend what it feels like to watch someone you care about being close with their best friend." I squeezed his hand, feeling grateful. "You're the best, Luke." "I know. Now, what's our strategy?" We spent the next hour planning. Lucas was a business major with a minor in psychology. He understood people and how to read them. Together, we crafted a plan that would use Ryan's own playbook against him. "First things first," Lucas said. "We need to make a grand entrance." "Where does Ryan hang out most?" "The gym, mostly. He has basketball practice every afternoon at 3. Lucas checked his watch. "Perfect. That gives me 2 hours to get unpacked and changed. Meet me outside the gym at 2:45. Wear something cute." The tables turn. At exactly 2:45, I stood outside the campus gym wearing my favorite sundress and sandals. Lucas showed up in basketball shorts and a fitted tank top that showed off his athletic build. He had a basketball tucked under one arm. "Ready?" he asked. "Ready." We walked into the gym together, my hand tucked into the crook of his arm. Ryan's basketball team was in the middle of practice, but I saw the exact moment Ryan spotted us. He literally stopped mid-dribble, causing another player to crash into him. His coach blew the whistle. "Thompson. Focus." But Ryan wasn't focused on basketball anymore. His eyes were locked on Lucas and me as we walked to the bleachers. We sat down close together, our shoulders touching, and Lucas kept his arm casually draped behind me on the seat. Ryan missed every shot for the rest of practice. When practice finally ended, Ryan practically ran over to us, sweat dripping down his face. His eyes were fixed on Lucas with undisguised hostility. "Maya. Who's this?" I smiled sweetly. "Ryan. This is Lucas. My best friend from childhood. We grew up together. Remember me telling you about him?" "No." "Really? That's weird. I definitely mentioned him." I turned to Lucas. "Luke, this is Ryan. My boyfriend. Well, we're on a break, but you know how it is." Lucas stood up and extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, man. Maya's told me a lot about you." Ryan ignored the handshake. "Why are you here?" "I transferred to Harrison. Maya helped me get settled in today. We've been catching up." Lucas sat back down, closer to me than before. "It's been years since we've seen each other. We have so much to catch up on." "Maya, can I talk to you?" "Alone?" "Sure." I started to get up, but Lucas gently pulled me back down. "Actually, bro, Maya and I have plans. We're grabbing dinner together. Maybe tomorrow?" Lucas's voice was friendly, but there was a challenge in his eyes. Ryan's jaw clenched. "Maya. Now." I stood up this time, but I was annoyed. "Ryan, you don't get to order me around. We're on a break, remember? You wanted time apart so I could think about my priorities." "Who is he really?" "I told you. My best friend. We've known each other since we were 5. We used to take baths together as toddlers, so there's nothing weird about our friendship." I used Ryan's own logic back at him. "If you can have Stella, I can have Lucas." Marcus, Ryan's teammate, walked over. "Hey man, you good?" "Fine," Ryan snapped, not taking his eyes off Lucas. Lucas stood up and took my hand. "Come on, Maya. I'm starving." "Nice meeting you, Ryan. I'm sure we'll see a lot of each other." As we walked away, I could feel Ryan's glare burning into my back. Lucas squeezed my hand. "How'd I do?" he whispered. "Perfect," I whispered back. "He's going crazy." We went to dinner at the Italian restaurant where Ryan had taken me on our first date. I made sure to post a photo of Lucas and me sharing a plate of pasta, with the caption "Reunited with my favorite person." Within minutes, my phone started buzzing. Text after text from Ryan. "Where are you? Is that the place we went to? Maya, call me. This isn't funny. Who is he?" I turned my phone face down and smiled at Lucas. "Want dessert? Stella shows her true colors." The next few days were interesting. Lucas and I were inseparable, just like when we were kids. We studied together, ate together, and he walked me to all my classes. He was the perfect gentleman, opening doors and carrying my books, but he also knew how to push boundaries in ways that would drive Ryan crazy. Like the time Lucas forgot his jacket and wore one of my oversized hoodies instead, posting a photo with fits perfectly. "Thanks, Maya." Or when he casually mentioned in front of Ryan's friends that he had slept over at my dorm because we had stayed up too late watching movies. On the couch, I quickly added. "He slept on the couch." "Obviously," Lucas said, but his smirk suggested something else. Ryan was losing his mind. He started showing up wherever I was, always with Stella attached to his hip. If Lucas held my hand, Stella would grab Ryan's. If Lucas brought me coffee, Ryan would show up with an entire care package. The breaking point came during a party at Marcus's apartment. Lucas and I arrived together, dressed up and laughing. Ryan was already there with Stella, who wore yet another one of his hoodies. When she saw us, her friendly mask slipped for just a second, and I saw pure hatred in her eyes. She quickly recovered and bounced over to us. Maya. And you must be the famous Lucas. Ryan's told me so much about you. Has he? Lucas smiled politely. All good things, I hope. Oh, absolutely. He's very interested in your relationship with Maya. Her voice dripped with fake sweetness. Ryan appeared behind her, 2 drinks in his hands. He gave one to Stella and kept the other for himself. He didn't offer me anything. Having fun? Ryan asked coldly. Always, when I'm with Luke, I said, leaning into Lucas's side. Luke? Ryan's eye twitched. You have a nickname for him already? We've had nicknames for each other since childhood. I call him Luke, he calls me May. It's our thing. Stella laughed loudly. How cute. Ryan and I have nicknames too. He calls me Stells, and I call him Riri. Actually, Ryan said, looking uncomfortable, maybe we should cool it with the nicknames, Stella. Her smile froze. What? Since when? Since people keep thinking we're dating. It's getting weird. I watched this exchange with interest. So Ryan was finally noticing how their friendship looked to others. Stella noticed me watching and her expression turned venomous. Can I talk to you, Maya? Girl to girl? Before I could answer, she grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the bathroom. Once inside, she locked the door and whirled on me. What the hell do you think you're doing? All the sweetness was gone from her voice. Using the bathroom? I asked innocently. Don't play dumb. I know what you're doing with that Lucas guy. You're trying to make Ryan jealous. Why would I do that? We're on a break. He made that very clear. She stepped closer, her face inches from mine. Listen to me carefully. Ryan is mine. He's always been mine. Every girl he's ever dated has been temporary. I'm the constant. I'm the one who's been there for 20 years. You're just another placeholder until he realizes he's supposed to be with me. My heart raced, but I kept my voice steady. Does Ryan know you feel this way? Ryan is an idiot about these things. But I've been patient. I moved to Paris to give him space to have his little flings. And he always comes back to me. Always. Every single girlfriend he's had has left because of me. Because I make sure they understand, you can't compete with history. So you admit you sabotage his relationships? She shrugged. I prefer the term quality control. And right now, you're failing the test. Break up with him properly. Stop parading around with your fake boyfriend. Or I'll make your life hell. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Ask his ex-girlfriend Hannah if you don't believe me. Oh wait, you can't. She transferred schools because of me. With that, Stella unlocked the door and left. I stood there, my hands shaking, replaying her words in my mind. This was even worse than I thought. Stella wasn't just a clingy best friend. She was deliberately driving away any woman who got close to Ryan. I pulled out my phone and started typing a text to Lucas, but then I noticed something. There, on the bathroom counter where Stella had left her purse, was her phone. She must have set it down and forgotten it in her anger. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But something made me pick it up. The screen was still unlocked, open to a group chat. I quickly skimmed through the messages, my eyes widening with each line. The chat was between Stella and 2 numbers I didn't recognize. They were discussing me. Discussing ways to handle the Maya problem. There were screenshots of my social media posts with Lucas, edited to look more intimate than they were. Plans to spread rumors about me. Anonymous posts they had already made on the university confession page. And then I saw it. A message from Stella from just a few days ago, Phase 2 is ready. Trust me, once everyone sees these anonymous posts about Maya being a cheater and a liar, Ryan will drop her for good. Then it's just a matter of time. The bathroom door opened. Stella walked back in, saw me holding her phone, and her face twisted with rage. You little. I'm not the problem here, Stella. You are. I held up her phone, showing her own messages. And I have screenshots of everything now. Her face went pale. You can't. Can't what? Show Ryan what you've really been doing. Watch me. I walked out of the bathroom with her phone, Stella following behind me, frantically trying to grab it back. The party had gone quiet. Everyone was watching. Lucas appeared at my side immediately, reading the situation. Ryan stood in the center of the room, confused. What's going on? I handed him Stella's phone. Your best friend has something to tell you. Or rather, you should read what she's been telling other people about us. Ryan took the phone, and I watched his face change as he read through the messages. The confusion turned to shock, then to anger. Stella, what is this? Stella tried to grab the phone. Ryan, I can explain. You've been posting lies about Maya? Making up stories? Planning to ruin her reputation? I was protecting you. Stella's voice rose, desperate now. These girls, they're not good enough for you. They don't understand you like I do. The room was dead silent. Not good enough? Ryan's voice was dangerously quiet. You've been doing this to all of them? Hannah, Jordan, Maya? Because I love you, you idiot. Stella screamed. I've loved you since we were 16 years old. Everything I've done has been because I love you. Everyone gasped. Ryan stood frozen, the phone still in his hand. But, we're friends. We're best friends. I don't want to be your friend, Ryan. I want to be your girlfriend. Your wife. I've been waiting for you to realize that for years. Ryan looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time. Stella, all those times you said you were just looking out for me, you were sabotaging my relationships? Yes. And I'd do it again because none of them deserved you. Ryan handed her back her phone, his hand shaking. Get out. Ryan. Get out of this party. Get out of my life. We're done. Our friendship is over. Stella's eyes filled with tears. You don't mean that. We're Riri and Stells. We're forever. We're nothing. You manipulated me. You hurt people I cared about. You're not the person I thought you were. He turned to me. Maya, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I wasn't ready to forgive yet. You should be sorry. You chose her over me every single time. You made me feel crazy for being uncomfortable with your relationship. I know. I was wrong. I was so blind. Stella let out a bitter laugh through her tears. Fine. You'll regret this, Ryan. When you're alone and miserable, remember that I was always there. I was always real. Unlike these fake relationships you keep chasing. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The party slowly started up again, people whispering and gossiping about what had just happened. Ryan stood there, looking lost. Maya, can we talk? Please? No. I need to explain. Explain what, Ryan? That you let your friend bully me? That you broke up with me because I dared to have a male study partner while you let Stella sleep in your bed? I was wrong. I see that now. Lucas stepped forward. I think Maya said enough for tonight. Let's go, May. We left Ryan standing in the middle of the party, surrounded by people but completely alone. As we walked back to my dorm, Lucas put his arm around my shoulders. You okay? Yeah, I said, surprising myself by meaning it. I think I really am. But I should have known that Stella wouldn't go down without a fight. The real war was just beginning. End of Part 2. Part 3, Truth and Consequences. The Aftermath. For 3 days after the party, campus was buzzing with gossip. Everyone had heard about Stella's confession and her banishment from Ryan's life. I was getting sympathetic looks in the hallways and messages from girls I barely knew, saying they had always thought Stella was weird. Ryan tried calling me 47 times. I counted. He sent flowers to my dorm. He showed up at my classes. He even tried to talk to Jessica to get her to convince me to hear him out. "What do you want me to do?" Jessica asked on the third day, surrounded by 3 bouquets Ryan had sent. "Nothing. I'm done with him." "Are you, though?" She gave me a knowing look. "Because you keep checking your phone every time it buzzes." I didn't have an answer to that. Lucas had been staying close, making sure I was okay. We studied together, ate meals together, and he made sure Ryan couldn't corner me alone. But I could tell he was worried about something. "What's wrong?" I asked him one afternoon as we sat in the library. "I don't think Stella's done yet. She's too quiet. Girls like that don't just disappear." "What do you mean?" "Think about it, Maya. She's been obsessed with Ryan for years. She built her whole identity around being his best friend, his soulmate, his future wife in her mind. You think one public rejection is going to make her give up?" A chill ran down my spine. "So what do? We stay alert." "And we?" His phone buzzed. Then mine. Then everyone's in the library. Someone had posted on the university confession page. An anonymous post with the title, "The Truth About Maya Chen." My hand shook as I opened it. The post was long and detailed. It claimed that I had been cheating on Ryan the entire time we were together. That Lucas wasn't really my childhood friend, but an actor I had hired to make Ryan jealous. That I had manipulated and lied to everyone. There were edited screenshots of text messages that looked like me saying horrible things about Ryan, Stella, and his friends. Photos of Lucas and me that had been cropped to look more intimate than they were. But the worst part? The post included my address, my class schedule, and a call for people to show this manipulator what we think of liars. "Oh my God," I whispered. Lucas grabbed my hand. "We need to get you out of here. Now." As we packed up, I could feel eyes on me. Whispers started up around the library. Someone muttered "liar" loud enough for me to hear. A girl I had never spoken to deliberately bumped into me as we left. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages from people I didn't know, calling me names, telling me I was disgusting, that I deserved everything coming to me. We made it back to my dorm, but there was already a group of people outside, mostly girls, holding signs. One said "liars get what they deserve." Another said "poor Ryan." "How did this happen so fast?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Social media," Lucas said grimly. "The post went viral. We need to call campus security." Before I could respond, someone threw an egg at us. It hit my shoulder, yolk dripping down my favorite shirt. "Cheater," someone screamed. Lucas pulled me behind him, shielding me with his body. "Back off." But more people were gathering. This was getting dangerous. Suddenly, a car screeched to a stop in front of us. The door flew open, and Ryan jumped out. "Everyone stop," he yelled. "Leave her alone." The crowd paused. Ryan walked straight to me, ignoring Lucas's protective stance. "Maya, I know you don't want to talk to me, but please. Get in the car. Let me get you somewhere safe." "How do we know you weren't part of this?" Lucas demanded. "Because I've been at the police station for the last hour, filing a report against Stella. I know she did this. And I'm going to prove it." Ryan looked at me, and for the first time since I'd known him, his confident mask was completely gone. He looked scared. "Please, Maya. Let me help." I looked at the crowd, growing larger and angrier by the second. I looked at Lucas, who nodded slightly. Then I looked at Ryan. Okay. The takedown. Ryan drove us to Marcus's off-campus apartment, where his basketball teammates were already gathered. I was surprised to see David there too, his laptop open, typing furiously. What's going on? I asked. Marcus spoke first. Maya, I owe you an apology. We all do. We thought Stella was just Ryan's harmless friend. We didn't realize what she was doing. David looked up from his computer. I'm a computer science major. Stella's post? I can trace it. The IP address, the account it came from, everything. She tried to hide it, but she's not as smart as she thinks she is. Can you prove it was her? Lucas asked. Already did. Look. David turned his laptop around. The screen showed a complex trail of digital evidence, but even I could see that it all led back to an account registered under a fake name but with Stella's personal email as the recovery address. That's not all, Ryan said quietly. He held up his phone. I went through our old messages. Every single one of my exes told me Stella had threatened them, but I never believed them. I thought they were just jealous. So I reached out to them today. He showed me his phone. There were messages from 5 different girls, all with the same story. Stella had targeted each one, spread rumors, made their lives miserable until they broke up with Ryan. Hannah transferred schools because Stella posted that she had stolen from the school bookstore. It took Hannah months to clear her name, but by then, she'd already left. Jordan failed 2 classes because Stella kept reporting her for plagiarism. Every paper she turned in got investigated. Sarah got harassed so badly that she had to delete all her social media accounts. Ryan's voice cracked. And I let it happen. Every single time. Because I believed Stella when she said these girls were the problem. I'm so sorry, Maya. You tried to tell me, and I called you insecure and jealous. I wanted to stay angry at him. Part of me was still angry. But another part of me recognized genuine remorse when I saw it. What are you going to do? I asked. We're going to expose her, Marcus said. Every single thing she's done. We have evidence from all Ryan's exes, proof that she's behind the recent post, and testimony from people at the party who heard her confession. And then we're going to the administration, David added. What she's doing isn't just mean, it's harassment. She could get expelled. She should get expelled, Lucas said firmly. As we sat there planning, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Hello? Maya? A quiet, nervous voice. This is Hannah. Ryan gave me your number. I hope that's okay. Of course. Hi, Hannah. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't warn you about Stella when I heard you were dating Ryan. I was just so relieved to be free of her that I didn't want to get involved again. It's okay. I understand. No, it's not okay. Stella destroyed my reputation and made me feel so alone. If I had spoken up, maybe she wouldn't have been able to do the same thing to you. Other voices joined in the background. Jordan, Sarah, and 2 other girls I didn't know. They all got on the phone, and we talked for over an hour. By the end, we had a plan. The exposure. The next day, Ryan posted on every social media platform he had. It was a long post, carefully written with help from his friends and ex-girlfriends. It detailed everything Stella had done, with evidence attached. Screenshots of her threatening messages, proof of the fake accounts she had used to spread rumors, testimony from multiple victims. The post ended with, I owe an apology to every woman I dated who tried to tell me the truth about my best friend. I owe the biggest apology to Maya Chen, who I failed to protect and support. Stella Morrison is not the person I thought she was. She's a manipulator and a bully. I'm filing formal complaints with the university and supporting anyone else who wants to do the same. Within hours, the post had thousands of shares. The comments section exploded. People who had believed Stella's lies about me were now apologizing. Other girls came forward with their own stories of being targeted by Stella for various reasons. The university confession page, which had hosted Stella's attack on me, posted an official statement that they were removing the post and investigating its origin. But Stella herself was silent. For a whole day, nothing. No response, no defense, no attack. Then, on the evening of the second day, she posted a long video on her social media. "I'm sorry," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry. I know I did wrong. I know I hurt people. But I was in love, and love makes you do crazy things, right?" She looked directly at the camera. "Ryan, I know you hate me now. But everything I did was because I loved you. And Maya." Her expression changed slightly, just for a second, into something cold. "Maya, I hope you're happy. You won." The video seemed like a genuine apology, but something about it felt off. Especially that last look. Lucas, watching it with me, frowned. "She's planning something." That video was too calculated. He was right to be worried. The next morning, campus security called me. They needed me to come to the administration building immediately. When Lucas and I arrived, we found Ryan already there, looking pale. "What's going on?" I asked. The dean of students, a stern woman named Dr. Patterson, gestured for us to sit. "We've completed our investigation into the harassment complaint. However, we've encountered a complication." "What kind of complication?" Ryan demanded. "Stella Morrison has filed a counter-complaint. She's claiming that you, Maya, and Lucas have been harassing her. She's provided evidence of coordinated attacks, public humiliation at a party, and threats made against her." "That's insane," I said. "She's the one who's been harassing people for years." "I understand your position," Dr. Patterson said carefully. "However, Ms. Morrison has presented her case very strategically. She's claiming that her confession at the party was coerced, that the evidence against her was fabricated, and that she's been the victim of a smear campaign." "Do you believe her?" Lucas asked. Dr. Patterson paused. "Personally? No. I've reviewed all the evidence, including testimony from several of Mr. Thompson's ex-girlfriends. The pattern is clear. However, Ms. Morrison's family has hired a lawyer, and they're threatening legal action against the university if we take disciplinary action without a full hearing." "A hearing?" Ryan's hands clenched into fists. "How long will that take?" "At least 2 weeks. During that time, all parties are expected to avoid contact with each other." I felt sick. "So Stella gets to walk around campus freely while we wait?" "The alternative is that we suspend all of you pending the investigation." "That's not fair." Lucas stood up. "Maya and Ryan are the victims here. I'm aware of the unfairness, Mr. Chen. But my hands are tied until the hearing. I'm sorry." As we left the administration building, I felt defeated. Stella had found another way to manipulate the system, to make herself look like the victim. "This isn't over," Ryan said firmly. "We have 2 weeks to gather even more evidence. Hannah and the others are willing to testify at the hearing. David can provide the technical proof that Stella created those fake accounts. We're going to win this." "And if we don't?" I asked quietly. "We will." He looked at me with determination I had never seen before. "I promise you, Maya. I'm going to make this right." Final confrontation. The 2 weeks before the hearing were tense. Stella kept her distance, but she was always there, lurking at the edges of my vision. In the dining hall, outside my classes, at the library. She never approached, never spoke, but her presence was a constant reminder. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. I kept going over everything in my mind, worrying that somehow Stella would find a way to twist the truth again. At 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number, rooftop of the science building. Come alone if you want the truth. I knew I should ignore it. I knew it was probably a trap. But something made me get dressed and head out into the cold night. The science building was dark and supposedly locked, but the door was propped open. I climbed the stairs to the roof, my heart pounding. Stella was there, standing at the edge, looking out over the campus. You came, she said without turning around. What do you want, Stella? She finally turned to face me. Without her makeup and styled hair, she looked younger. More vulnerable. But her eyes were cold. I want you to understand something. Ryan was always meant to be mine. From the day we met in kindergarten, I knew he was special. I knew we were meant to be together. That's not how relationships work. You can't force someone to love you. Can't I? She smiled bitterly. I've been shaping Ryan's life for 20 years. Every friend group, every hobby, every decision. I was always there, always influencing him. And it worked. He always came back to me. Always. Until he didn't. Her smile disappeared. Because of you. You and your fake childhood friend, your manipulation, your lies. Lucas isn't fake. And I never lied. Maybe not about him. But you played a game, Maya. You played it well. Better than all the others. She stepped closer. But here's what you don't understand. Even if you win tomorrow, even if they believe you and expel me, you still lose. What are you talking about? Because Ryan will never be free of me. I'm in every childhood memory, every important moment of his life. I'm woven into who he is. You think you can replace 20 years of history? You can't. And eventually, he'll realize that. He'll miss me. And when he does. She smiled. I'll be waiting. You're delusional. Am I? Or am I just patient? She pulled out her phone. I'm giving you one chance, Maya. Drop the complaints. Tell them tomorrow that it was all a misunderstanding. That I'm innocent. Do that, and I'll disappear from both your lives. I'll transfer schools. You'll never see me again. And if I don't? Then I'll make sure this hearing destroys everyone. Ryan's reputation, yours, Lucas's. I have evidence you haven't seen yet. Screenshots I've been saving. Testimony from people who will say anything I want them to say. I'll burn it all down. I looked at her, this girl who had spent years manipulating and hurting people, and I felt something unexpected. Not anger. Not fear. Pity. No, I said simply. No? No deal, Stella. Because here's what you don't understand. Real love isn't about ownership or control. It's not about eliminating competition or forcing someone to choose you. What you feel for Ryan isn't love. It's obsession. And it's sad. Her face twisted with rage. How dare you? I dare because I'm not afraid of you anymore. Do your worst at the hearing. Bring your fake evidence and your threats. We have the truth. And the truth is that you're a bully who hurt innocent people because you couldn't handle rejection. You stupid, she lunged at me, and I stumbled backward. For a terrifying second, I was close to the edge of the roof. But then strong hands grabbed me, pulling me back. Ryan and Lucas appeared from the stairwell, followed by 2 campus security guards. We got it all on recording, Lucas said, holding up his phone. Stella's face went white. You set me up. You set yourself up, Ryan said quietly. The unknown number you texted Maya from? I recognized it. It's the same one you used to text my exes. So we followed her, recorded everything. Including your confession and your attack just now. The security guard stepped forward. Ms. Morrison, you need to come with us. As they led her away, she screamed, Ryan. Ryan, please. I did it all for us. For our future. but Ryan didn't even look at her. Resolution. The hearing the next day lasted less than an hour. With the recording from the rooftop, the technical evidence David had compiled, and testimony from 5 of Ryan's ex-girlfriends, the case against Stella was overwhelming. She was expelled from the university. The lawyer her parents had hired tried to fight it, but the evidence was too strong. Additionally, the university recommended she seek psychological help as part of their ruling. In the weeks that followed, campus slowly returned to normal. The gossip died down. People moved on to the next drama. Ryan's ex-girlfriends found some closure, knowing that their tormentor had finally faced consequences. As for Ryan and me? We didn't get back together. Not right away, at least. I need to be single for a while, he told me one afternoon as we sat by the campus pond. I need to figure out who I am without Stella's influence. And you deserve better than someone who has to learn basic relationship boundaries. That's very mature of you, I said, meaning it. Lucas is a good guy. A really good guy. The way he protected you through all of this. Ryan shook his head. He's what I should have been.